Welcome to a cider episode, everyone. Cider has been gaining popularity in the United States steadily over the last few years. Yep. So we're gonna be tasting Crispin. We're gonna be tasting Crispin hard cider tonight. So we're starting tonight with just the base Crispin cider, and this is just their straight up and down cider. I imagine there's gonna be some sugar added to the fermentation.
Thank you, sir.
Not. Do we have an alcohol percentage on this? It's 5% alcohol by volume, and which tells me that there's nothing in this but apples. This is going to be exclusively apple cider.
It's that's the one thing you notice anytime you brew anything with apples or a fruit, it gets much drier because the sugars that are in fruits, are much simpler sugars, so a lot of them break down.
Right.
And that's one of the things you notice in here. It's just like a big dry note as opposed to a sweet note sometimes that you get from grains.
Yeah, and some of your ciders are going to be sweet rather than dry. It's something we'll take a look at here in a little bit. But when you see that it's 5% alcohol...
This is kind of mixed. This is on the taste. I would say, like, I get a little bit of dryness in the back note, but overall it's a generally sweet drink.
Yeah.
That's not bad at all.
It's a generally sweet drink. It's definitely not... There are some overly sweet ciders out there that we'll not mention by name because they're ridiculously sweet. But this is definitely not one of them.
Right.
And it's not horribly dry either. Like you drink a Strongbow and it's got a nice, like, really serious dry finish to it, and it's just not there with this.
No?
It's a really, really nice, even mixture.
So, we did this over ice because the bottle told us to.
Yeah, I'm happy with the results. I think it's gone well.
Not bad at all. I mean, again, not my flavor, but if I ordered a drink at a place and I wasn't given the choice to pick out fancy beers like I normally like to pick out, I would not send this back, and I would probably order another one.
Yeah, this is good stuff. You want to talk about specialty cider while I go grab us some beer, some more cider?
He's going to grab us, and you notice how we always end up saying beer, even though we're drinking a cider.
Yeah, exactly.
We keep Freudian slipping back to beer because that's our thing. We do beer, right? So we're kind of venturing out here, but we like what Crispin's doing with some of their beer and cider type mixes. But a specialty cider, it has adjuncts, right? So it's allowed to be something that you can put in there other than what was in the other one, which was just, sugars, molasses, or raisins. So you could put something like prunes in there, pears, maybe mix something up in there that's of a similar style or go somewhere different.
You could even use honey, which is what is in this next Crispin that we're about to pour.
Very nice, yeah.
This is the Crispin Artisanal Reserve Honey Crisp.
Honey is common in a lot of beers.
A lot of beers. Honey's a really good way to boost your alcohol content without killing your flavor.
And in beer, it allows you a lot of range because you can try honey in a beer, put it in early boil, you're going to take away most of the flavors. Put it in late boil, you're going to keep some of the flavors. Put it in the secondary, you're going to keep a lot of the flavor. So you can put it in different spots and have a really good and different style of flavor. I know there's an Australian beer that the Honey Brown that's pretty decent.
Try this. This is a really, really neat change from the last one. Yeah.
Okay, so when I'm smelling this,
the honey definitely kicks through.
The honey comes through. I also notice a major difference in the yeast and almost what I would call a Belgian character. Is this supposed to be ice in there as well?
Yeah, it says it wants you to serve all of them are ice, but...
All right. Here's the bottle. It says smooth over ice.
Smooth over ice.
Okay.
And you're
as
I don't know what
the
yeast
Romans do.
I don't know what yeast they used for this one.
It definitely smells Belgian, man. I mean, I've got some of those notes that come along with a Belgian yeast, something that's almost farmhousey character.
I'm guessing they're using some kind of wild yeast on this because they've got a Belgian yeast.
Wow.
They've got a Belgian yeast cider, and that's the one we're going to have
next. That is very smooth.
This is a really, really neat beer. It's got a very crisp finish.
And it's even better as a cider than a beer.
Even better as a cider.
Crispin, their original cider is good. I would drink this. I mean, the Crispin is not my flavor, but this is something I could see myself ordering.
These are going to get better as we go.
I hope so. Because if they get better than this, then I'm happy.
Yes. You're going to be happy because the third one we're drinking is amazing. I
That
managed
is very good, and this is, I notice it's sparkling. It's definitely carbonated.
Yeah.
This one is much drier. The honey comes out, it's pretty much only sweetness I get is from the honey.
Oh, yeah.
So the honey flavor comes out, and it's really big, but it's got undertones of that sweetness from apples. I mean, I can see why people drink ciders when you can get to concoctions like this. I mean, this is really good.
Yeah. I'm liking it.
It's a lot like beers with most people. When they're first trying beers, the only beers that they know and they understand are your, Miller, Budweiser, Coors, those kind of beers that they all taste fairly similar, very bland and as light of flavor as possible. But then they try a flavorful beer and they go, "Oh,
this is what beer is supposed to taste like."
I kind of feel like I'm getting that.
Yeah, and I kind of had that exact same experience the first time my wife brought home a Crispin. I was like, "Oh, that's cute." She can drink cider and I can drink beer, and then she poured me a little taster, and I was really kind of blown away. I was thoroughly impressed, and that's really been the impetus behind this episode.
She poured you a half a scotch.
She did pour me a half a scotch.
As my wife's grandmother often says.
Yeah.
Take a half a scotch.
Just a half a scotch. The last Crispin cider we're tasting tonight, it's called the Saint. This is a natural hard apple cider that has organic maple syrup added. Remember earlier we talked about adjuncts to increase the alcohol volume. And this is actually fermented with Belgian Trappist yeast.
Belgian Trappist yeast. So they've introduced a different kind of yeast than what is normally in here. I'm very much looking forward to this. Pass this on to you guys, our studio audience.
Immediately, when you smell the cider, you can smell that Belgian character just pouring out of there.
I thought I smelled a little barnyard and Belgian.
This one leaves no question.
No. It's there in this. I mean, it's just coming out in leaps and bounds. I mean, you just stick your nose in the glass, and I'm glad we chose the stemware tonight. We had talked about
this is huge.
Yeah, it's often we talk about the right kind of glass for the right kind of beer. Definitely with cider, don't be afraid to do a stemware. I mean, because it brings out the nose of what you're drinking, and if the nose is bad, and the cider's bad.
Yeah, really, the nose has been so important in everything that we've been tasting tonight, and each one of these drinks. The nose and the palate have really complement each other very nicely.
Very sugary.
It's very sugary. It's extraordinarily unique.
That comes out. It tastes like a really dark sugar or like a candy sugar, like you would put in like a Belgian.
The maple syrup that you're getting coming through.
And it tastes like something that you would add into a Belgian double or a triple or excuse me, a double or a quadruple, something that's really dark and sugary, although this doesn't look dark and sugary like a beer would.
No, but it has a dark sugary flavor to it. It does. Which is really astounding.
Yeah, it's not what you would think from looking at this glass, like you're going to get a big, dark, robust flavor profile, but you do. You definitely get that.
Yeah, and the Belgian yeast adds a really neat character to a cider that's already pretty neat without it.
So all I got to say about these two artisanal reserves that we've had tonight are that's just fantastic. I love what they're doing with this. The fact that they're actually taking some experimental nature with the apple wines or ciders or whatever you want to call it. That's good stuff.
Agitation, frustration, the memorization of the things I'm gonna do.